Alrighty, folks. I am so pumped right now. I'm so ready. Let me pop over here where y'all can see me. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, good morning. My name is Voodoo Val, and I am going to be your host this morning for the Photoshop Daily Creative Challenge. And it is a very special challenge because if you were here yesterday, or maybe you have heard, we are doing these challenges as kind of a gateway into creating a possible entry for the Create Waves contest. And I'm super excited to explain to you what that means, what that's all about. Leval appears. What's up, Annika? It's good to see you. General Kenobi, hello there. It's good to see you this morning. Steve Festus Casaboom, the man with the name, is here to hang out. Robert, Kevin, I see Chad, I see Ralph, Jennifer, Thong, Trey, Bruce, Ahmad, Tim, thank you all so much for coming to join me. If you are wondering who I am greeting in the chat because you don't see them, that probably means that you are over on the YouTube channel. So we have a moderator over there right now. If you would please follow the link that they post in the chat. It will bring you to behance.net/live where you can meet all of the wonderful folks that I am chatting with today. You will get all of the helpful resource links that the moderators will post as I discuss them during the stream, and it's a really great place just to make friends, kind of join the community that we got and everything. Yes, the infamous Jumper is here. Jean, welcome in. Is it Jean or Jean? I want to know. You have a kitty typing on your keyboard this morning, Steve. I see. All right, so. Number one, I want to show you folks where you can get involved, where you can get more information about this challenge. So I am quickly going to pull up the challenge page right here. Let me just bump this over. Ooh, I've got a weird, there we go. Okay, let me pop over here. This is the landing page for the Photoshop Daily Creative Challenge, behance.net/challenge/Photoshop. You'll know you're in the right place because you will see the July 26th through August 20th date up here. And as you scroll down on this page, you'll get a 1 through 4, basically how this works. And then down here, you will see that as we go about our days for the coming weeks, these will slowly start to be unlocked. This morning, our first mood board, our first challenge is unlocked. We're going to be creating a mood board for our projects today. And if you are watching this video, but when you come to this page, you see a different date, that is probably because this is from a past challenge, the video you're watching now. And if you'd like to find the July to August challenges, all you have to do is come down here and find July 26th through August 20th, and you will have all of the starter files, all of the challenges unlocked here. You'll just have to click your button here and you can see all of them, and you will also be able to find a link to watch all of the videos that go with each challenge, which is really cool. Another thing that I would love to point out to you is that you can join the Discord channel. If you go to bit.ly/Discord, the link looks like this. You can jump into the Photoshop challenge or Photoshop Discord in general. There's a lot of different challenge things going on in this Discord, and it looks a little something like this. Let me pop into here. So this is where everybody has been posting their challenges. I see this one coming in from Natalie. This is Natalie. This is so good. I would never have thought to do this with all of these sea creatures, but I absolutely love this. I just want to give you a shout out and just say that this is just really beautiful. And so many people have come through here and posted. Some of these are new that I did not see yet that I'm just loving. Sven and is it Lise? Oh, Lissy. You actually let us know how to pronounce it. Thank you very much, Lissy. Madi, thank you so much, everyone. I wanted to scroll up here and just kind of give everybody a shout out. Some of these are just really impressive. This Christelle one, I love the consistency with the lines that you've chosen, and it's a very beautiful background. It looked to me like maybe a traditional painted wave background. I'm not sure, but I'd love to hear more. But there are a lot of these that came through. And one thing I wanted to highlight before we jump into our challenge today is that I have posted in here, oh, thank you so much, Trey, I appreciate it. Your first Daily Creative Challenge, yes, I am so honored to be your first Daily Creative Challenge instructor, and I cannot wait to see what you make for these. But I wanted to let you folks know, if I scroll up here, this YCY, this, oof, ooh, so good. I wanted to show you that I have posted some pro tips up here for you. So I did a couple of pro tips for case studies, which we can discuss as we go into today's challenge, because I really want to get a move on and jump in. But I've kind of posted these in here for you folks, just in case you are thinking about making a case study for your challenge and you are maybe unsure of how to go about that. Maybe you've never done one before, maybe you have, but you're not really satisfied with the results. So I have some pro tips there for you. And then also, if you hit the pinned messages button up here, you will see that I have posted the Create Waves Adobe CC library, which I would love for you guys to dive into, because it has all of the official assets for the contest that you can use. And it's my understanding that you can use the assets, you could use some assets of your own as well, but this is where you can find a bunch of assets that are provided by the folks behind the hashtag Create Waves movement here. So please check that out. It'll give you kind of a starting place, and it's a perfect resource for today's challenge. So I am going to pull up my Photoshop. If you downloaded the starter file, you will get this this file right here that I have created for you. It's got 4 artboards, and I love to use artboards when it comes to creating a mood board, because it allows me to organize things, to move things around, and also to create new artboards as I go along and all that good stuff. So real quick, I would like to give you kind of a rundown of how to use artboards if you have never used artboards. So behind the Move tool up here at the very top, I can right click here and I can hit the artboard tool, and you'll see these plus symbols will appear around the edges of whichever artboard I actually have selected. So if I move down here to artboard 4, you'll see that it appears around all of the edges that I can see. And if I click this, it will literally add another artboard that is the same shape and size as the artboard I've duplicated from. And if I want to, I can grab that by the title and I can move this anywhere I want. Okay, and it really kind of depends on what system you have. If you have kind of a beefier computer, you could probably make a ton of these. Maybe if your computer is not as hefty, you probably want to keep them to a small amount, just as a warning. I couldn't tell you with any certainty how many artboards your computer could handle, because I don't know the specifics of each individual system in the chat. But keep an eye on that. If you start to see maybe a little bit of lag, maybe try to consolidate your artboards. But these are really, really awesome to use. I'm gonna go ahead and delete this one because I don't need that. Another thing I like to do, because I have like a little bit of interesting branding going on here, just to make this look a little more interesting. So I could select artboard 3, Control J, and duplicate it, and it will duplicate exactly what is on that artboard, and then I can rename that to another name, and then I have all of the things included in artboard 3 also duplicated in the new artboard. So that is just a little bit about how to use them. Lastly, I should point out, once I select an artboard, let me select artboard 4, this will be our guinea pig, you can actually come up here to the width and height, and I could change this. So maybe I want this to not be as wide. Maybe I'll change this to 2000. And hit enter, and it will shrink that for me. It will create whatever kind of size you wish. And that is, I think, very, very helpful, just in case you don't want to just drag out the edges, because you can do that. You can come over here with the artboard tool and you can drag the edges out and all that stuff and reshape them in that way. So I've created these artboards for you. I have them labeled images, fonts, colors, and textures and samples and shapes. And this is how I like to set up a mood board, because it allows me, like I said, to organize things in a way that my brain can understand. which workspace are you using? What I've done, if I've used the default workspace, and I have just simply moved things around to where I want them. So these here, what I did was the panels that I don't actually usually use, I've just pulled out like this and then hit that X and closed them. And I typically like to have all of my working things on the right side because I'm right-handed, so I have all of this here, and then I have my little toolbar over here on the left-hand side. That's just what works for me. You can kind of go into Window and start editing your workspace and toggling things on and off if you would like to do that in your Photoshop. So I've put a little spiel here. It says, practice prepping for your next big project by creating a mood board, gather assets, then organize a CC library, including reference, colors, fonts, and inspiration. And then I added, check out these helpful resources for assets and inspiration. So these are all places where you can gather pretty much every single thing that you need for your project for free. We have Adobe Fonts, Adobe Color, and Adobe Stock. Another thing that I want to definitely point out is this is the Create Waves CC library, excuse me. This is the CC library that has been kind of given to us by the super awesome folks who are putting this on. And there is a lot of stuff here. There's a lot of really wonderful things in here. And I just love it because not only do we have images and things to choose from, we have textures. And we have actual photos, like legitimate photos of ocean life and things. We've got color palettes. We've got a lot of stuff here. And let's see, we have kind of a stock image disclaimer if you folks want to open that up and take a look at it. Maybe we will peek at it. Adobe stock images are sample files as defined in Adobe's terms of use and can only be used for the purpose of the Create Waves Design Challenge. So you can use all of this for the Create Waves Design Challenge. If you want to use the images for other purposes, such as on a website or in marketing materials, you can purchase a license on Adobe Stock. I don't imagine that this extends to not posting your work, because you are encouraged to post your work on Behance. So feel free to post for your Behance case studies and all that stuff, but you want to use these assets for the Create Waves contest. All right, so you can drag and drop some images from here into your mood board, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab, I love this ocean break image, so I am going to actually drag this into my images, which is artboard 1. I'm just going to throw this in here. I am going to hold Alt so that when I resize this, it drags in from all sizes. And I'm just gonna put this in here. I'm gonna throw that right there. And I'm gonna open this artboard and I'm going to close this group because I don't really need to look at the branding around my mood board while I'm doing this. I really don't. If you would like to keep the branding on, or you'd like to create your own so that it looks nice and pretty, go for it. But for me, I'm just gonna turn that off and I'm gonna start dragging and dropping in some things that I really love from this. Let's see, I love manta rays. Manta rays are near and dear to my heart. A little fun, unsolicited fact about me, I have an aunt who loves to swim in the ocean, and I have seen her swimming with her hand hooked onto the front of a manta ray's mouth, and the manta ray was probably, I would say it was probably 15 times wider than she was. Manta rays get very, very large, and they are like gentle birds of the sea. They are so beautiful and so extraordinary. If you have never seen a manta ray aside from this picture, I highly recommend going and taking a look at manta rays and learning a little bit about them, because they are absolutely beautiful creatures. I really love this light leak, so I'm gonna come down here to artboard 4. I'm gonna open that up and hide that group, and I'm gonna drag in this light leak because I love light leaks. You folks have probably heard me talk about light leaks when we've done previous challenges. I love to overlay light leaks onto pieces of art with blending modes and things, just to give stuff little glares and pops of color and texture. I love it, love it, love it. So I'm gonna grab both of these light leaks because I'm kind of enamored with them. I think they're really neat. So I'm gonna throw those in. I'm just gonna throw that in right there. So I have my light leaks. And then we need some colors. We need some artboards. I actually think that because I created some variations of my Photoshop Daily Creative Challenge Behance cover yesterday, I did some new things with the colors and stuff, and I actually chose my own color combination from these colors. I did not use any one specific color theme from here. I actually kind of jumped around and chose colors that I really liked. And I came up with this right here. I believe it was number 3 that I went with. I'm gonna throw this into, I'm just gonna put this into here because this is just, I'm not gonna use this, but I do want this just here. Or actually, maybe I'll throw this into artboard 3 because artboard 3 is colors. We'll throw that in there. I'm gonna open it, unhide the group, and I'm gonna sample some colors real quick, and I'm going to add them as little shapes here. So I am going to grab my shape tool. You can grab the shape tool, oh, that's my gradient tool. You can grab the rectangle tool, or you can hit U on your keyboard. And what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna hold shift to drag out a perfect square, like so. And I am going to make sure fill is on and stroke is off here. This is the properties panel, by the way. If you do not have the properties panel open in your workspace, all you have to do is come up to Window, scroll on down to properties, and it will open up for you, and you can drag the properties panel to whichever side or wherever you would prefer it be within your workspace. And I am going to Control J on this rectangle until I can have about 5 of them. And my reason for doing that is that I am going to individually change all of these colors now based on the colors that are in this Create Waves cover image that I have here. So I'm going to zoom out once right there, make sure I'm still selected here, and I am going to come down to this first rectangle, and I'm going to click the fill. I'm going to hit this button up in the top right hand corner because that opens my color picker, and I'm just going to color pick that color. Boom. Okay, then I have that. I can come to the next one, do the same thing, and I'm just going to start selecting these colors as they come, selecting my rectangles, selecting my fill, my color picker, and grabbing the next color, because I'm just going to make myself a nice little color palette here because I think I'm probably going to stick to that color. I might add more colors to my color scheme here. That is definitely probably something that I will absolutely do. And I'm actually going to make one more because I know that I used a 6th color that I forgot about because let me open the color picker. This is brighter than anything on there. So this should be able to, okay, boom. Okay, there we go. Now I have this really nice gradient. I'm going to group all of these together. And I have my my color palette here. So I'm just going to call this color palette, or I'm going to call this cover colors so I don't forget what it is. Cover colors. So I have my cover colors there. I'll hide that challenge image, and maybe I will kind of bring this out like so, just so that it's a little larger, because I know I like those. And another thing we can do is, as I mentioned before, is we can go to Adobe Colors. So I'm going to pull up Adobe Color right quick. Let's go to, there it is, Adobe Color. Boom, and I am going to drag this on over here. Now, Adobe Color is really cool. Some of you may have seen me actually pull this up just recently, and I am just going to come in here and go to Explore, and I know what we're looking for. We're looking for like ocean colors or sandy beach colors or things like that, so we can just type in ocean if we want and see what they give us for ocean. Can kind of search around. This one is very similar to what I already have. This is like an ocean sunset. I don't know if that's really what I'm going for. I kind of maybe want, oh, that's one of the pictures that's in the files that they've given us. So maybe I will do that one. I'll add that to library. I'm gonna go ahead and just click that. And it says theme successfully added to Ocean DCC, which is my own library that I have selected. There's a lot of stuff that you can do. You can come in here and search for anything, you know, to your heart's content. Ooh, that is a super cool painting, unrelated to our project, but I love that. And I think I might come back and snag that. This is, ooh, I wanna see this picture. That is gorgeous. Jan Eric. Is that our Jan Eric? If it's our Jan Eric, that's amazing, and I'm adding it to my library. So you can add it to your library. You can come back into, actually I'm gonna leave this here and just select my Photoshop so that I have that there. You can come into your libraries. If I go back out of Create Waves, go into my Ocean DCC, it might take a little bit of time for it to update. It might take a little bit of time for it to update because I just put it in here, and that's okay. But luckily we have our Create Waves, so if I want to, I can simply use these colors. So that's how I would go about getting colors. And then in our last, we got about 4 or 5 minutes left here. I'm also going to pull up our, do you ever just forget a word when it's really important that you say the right thing? We're gonna go and get our fonts. That's what we're gonna get, is fonts. So we're gonna go to fonts.adobe.com, and I'm going to walk you folks through the font settings that you can go through in order to kind of pick the right font, especially if you have trouble maybe selecting fonts and aren't familiar with a lot of the terminologies and things when it comes to fonts, to exploring fonts. Because I am like that. I don't actually have a whole heck of a lot of know-how when it comes to fonts. So if we go to Browse Fonts, you will see fonts.adobe.com. Over here, if I pop myself to the other side of my screen, you can see that if you don't know how, like the difference between a serif and a sans serif and like all of these different things, how to access the Create Waves library, I have a link for you. Let me I'm actually going to send you, let's take a break for just like 10 seconds here. I'm going to give you some links real quick. So this is the Creative Cloud article that has been posted about Create Waves. So there you are. This is also the hashtag Create Waves campaign page from the Ocean Agency, if you would like to check that out. And if you scroll down there, they also have links to all of the digital toolkit. But if you actually looked at the Discord earlier, you will find in our Discord, if you click this pin messages in the challenge entry channel here, I have actually pinned a link to it for you at the top of the page, so you can go ahead and check that out. All right. Back to fonts. So if you don't know the difference between all these different kinds of fonts, you can actually come here and get a visual representation of the kind of fonts that you may like to use. So I think I'm going to go into like a funky. I don't know if funky is going to do what we want, but I think I see like, I mean, this is really cool. I don't know if that's like good for water, but this Womp font is actually kind of neat. These are just like big, kind of puffy, interesting fonts that could give maybe a lot of motion to my project, which I think is pretty darn cool. I do like the Oh No Blaze face right here. I might actually do this one. I might actually just view that and toggle it on. I'm gonna activate that and I'm gonna say okay, because I do actually like that, and I don't know if I will end up using it 100% for this project, but I think it's pretty cool. I also did like this Womp font. You just click View Family and you can activate the font. I apologize for my window being cut off. Let me kind of drag this over like so. There we go. So you guys can see a little bit better. Boom. That's really, I really like that. So you can grab a couple of fonts if you like, and kind of explore all the ways that you can find fonts visually. You can also come down here and, you know, type in all the classifications and all that good stuff. And you can even organize by the weight and contrast of certain portions of each symbol and letter, which is really cool. So this is really neat. This looks like mythos. This is like mythological. I don't know that that really goes with our project, but that's a cool one. From Adobe Originals. I love it. So now I have fonts chosen, and I am live at the moment, and sometimes it does take a little bit longer for them to sync, but I'm gonna come in, I'm gonna unhide the branding on my artboard for my fonts, and I am gonna open, I'm gonna open my text, my font area. I'm gonna select my text tool, and you can press T on your keyboard to access it. We can come up to our fonts, and it may not be here, but I'm going to give you an example and show you how to add a font to a library if you want, and also add a font to here. So what I would do is I'm just going to select a font right now just to give you the example. We'll say Culligan, and I like to just click and then type the font name, and it's typed out in white, so I'm going to select one of our colors here, and then just have that and start listing fonts that I really like, and just have them in my artboard. But if you're creating your own thing for this, you can add them to your library by clicking plus and then adding a character style. And that is all the time we have right now. I have to go because I'm gonna get cut off, but thank you so much for joining me today. I love you all. I wish you happy designing, and please stay tuned for the next segment. Bye-bye.